This video is about OET writing. Let me ask you something. Imagine two candidates sitting in the same OET exam room. Both are nurses, both speak English well, both have prepared for months, both receive exactly the same writing task. 45 minutes later, one candidate gets a score of 420, the other gets 320. Why? Did one have a better grammar? Not necessarily. Did one know more vocabulary? Not necessarily. The real difference is usually something much deeper. Over the years, I have noticed that almost every OET candidate falls into one of five categories. And today, I want you to discover which category you belong to. Because once you know your type, you know exactly why your score is stuck. Let's start with the type number one, the information dumper. This candidate has one philosophy. If it's written in the case notes, it must be important. So they include everything. Okay, let's look at an example. So the case notes are patient Mr. Robert Green, 68 years old, diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 10 years ago, lives with wife, retired school teacher, enjoys gardening, has two grandchildren, presented today with infected diabetic foot ulcer, ulcer worsening despite antibiotics, requires urgent podiatry review. Okay, so this is the case note. Now watch what the information dumper writes. I'm referring Mr. Robert Green, a 68-year-old retired school teacher who lives with his wife and enjoys gardening. He has two grandchildren and has had type 2 diabetes for 10 years. He attended today with an infected diabetic foot ulcer. The ulcer has worsened despite antibiotic treatment. Therefore, he requires podiatry review. At first glance, this looks okay. No grammar mistakes, no spelling mistakes. Everything seems fine. But let's think like a podiatrist. Imagine you are the podiatrist receiving this letter. What information do you need? You need the diabetes history, food ulcer details, current treatment, reason for referral, right? So, do you need to know he enjoys gardening? No. Do you need to know he has grandchildren? No. Do you need to know he was a teacher? Not at all. The writer is filling the letter with information instead of communicating purpose. Now watch the high scoring version. I'm referring Mr. Robert Green, a 68-year-old man with a 10-year history of type 2 diabetes for urgent assessment of an infected diabetic foot ulcer that has continued to deteriorate despite antibiotic treatment. Notice what happened here. The unnecessary details disappeared. Every word now serves a purpose. That's exactly what examiners reward. Now let's move on to the second type, the storyteller. This candidate loves beautiful English. Everything sounds dramatic, everything sounds elegant, everything sounds like a novel. Here is an example. Imagine the task requires a referral to a cardiologist. The storyteller writes, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. David Harris, a pleasant and cooperative gentleman whom I recently had the opportunity to assess at our clinic. Over the years, he has experienced various health changes, and it is with sincere hope that your expertise will assist him in overcoming his current difficulties. Sounds impressive. Maybe. Professional? Not really. Imagine a cardiologist reading this. They are busy. They have 20 patients waiting. Do they want literary writing? No, they want information. Now let's watch a better version. I'm referring Mr. David Harris, a 63-year-old man with worsening exertional chest pain for specialist cardiology assessment and management. 20 words. Purpose immediately clear. The reader instantly understands who, why, what problem, what action is required. The storyteller thinks, how can I make this sound impressive? But the high scorer thinks, how can I make this easy to understand? There is a huge difference, right? Now, the third type is grammar perfectionist. This candidate is dangerous. I'll tell you the reason why. Because they actually know English. The problem is they focus on the wrong thing. Imagine this happens during the exam. The candidate writes, the patient has been experiencing pain, then suddenly stops. They think, should I write has been experiencing or has experienced or had experienced? 3 minutes gone. Then another sentence appears. The patient was advised to stop smoking. The candidate pauses again. Should it be passive? Should it be active? Should I use another verb? More time disappears. Now imagine 20 minutes have passed already. The letter is only half finished. Panic begins, heart rate increases, mistakes suddenly appear everywhere. The irony is amazing. The candidate who worried most about grammar ends up making the most mistakes because they ran out of time. Now let's compare candidate A, perfect grammar, incomplete letter. Okay? And candidate B, small grammar mistakes, but the purpose is clear. All important information he has included. Guess which candidate usually scores higher? Of course, candidate B, because OET is a communication exam, not a grammar competition. Grammar matters, I do understand that, but communication matters more. Okay? The fourth type is copy paste machine. This candidate simply converts bullet points into sentences, nothing more. Let's say an example here. Here are the case notes. Chest pain for 3 days, shortness of breath, smokes 20 cigarettes daily, blood pressure 170 by 100, family history of heart disease, requires urgent cardiology review. Now, again, if you see the letter, the patient has chest pain for 3 days. The patient has shortness of breath. The patient smokes 20 cigarettes daily. The patient's blood pressure is 170 by 100. The patient has a family history of heart disease. The patient requires urgent cardiology review. Technically correct, but painful to read. Why? Because the writer is acting like a photocopy machine, right? Now, watch what a strong candidate does. Mr. James Brown has experienced progressive chest pain and shortness of breath over the past 3 days. Given his significant smoking history, elevated blood pressure of 170 per 100, and the family history of cardiovascular disease, urgent cardiology assessment is recommended. Same information, but now the information works together. The writer has interpreted the notes. The reader understands the situation immediately. That's professional communication, correct? Now let's move on to the type 5, the reader centered writer. This is the candidate who usually scores 400 plus. Before writing anything, they ask, who is reading this? Why am I writing? What does this reader need? Let's imagine the task is a referral to a physiotherapist. Case notes or knee replacement surgery, difficult climbing stairs, limited walking distance, pain score 8/10, diabetes, high cholesterol, wears reading glasses. Now, the average candidate includes everything, but the reader centered writer thinks differently. What information helps the physiotherapist? Immediately they select surgery details, mobility limitations, pain levels, pain levels, and they ignore reading glasses, cholesterol history, because those details don't help the physiotherapist perform their job. The resulting paragraph might look like this. Following recent knee replacement surgery, Mrs. Wilson continues to experience significant mobility limitations. She reports pain rated at 8 bar 10, difficulty climbing stairs, and reduced walking tolerance. Physiotherapy assessment and rehabilitation support would be greatly appreciated. Notice how focused this is. Everything serves the reader, nothing distracts, nothing wastes time, right? This is exactly how healthcare professionals communicate in real life. That's exactly what OET is trying to measure. Got it? So that's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more OET tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.